Hello to all you patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 288 of Canadian Patriot Podcast, the number one LARPing podcast in Canada. We're recording on March 15th, 2021, and as always, my name is Andrew, and I'll be your host. Joining me tonight, we have Gavin, Brian, other Andrew, and Ian.
And we'd love to hear your feedback about the show. So please visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback or email us at feedback@CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. Feel free to show us on the chest rig where the government touched you. Version of the show is available on Stitcher and iTunes.
We need your help to support Canadian Patriot Podcast. Visit patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. You can get a better quality version of the show for just $1 per episode. Show you're not a communist. Buy a CPP t-shirt for just $19.99 plus shipping and theft. Visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com homepage and follow the link on the right.
This brings us to my favorite segment of the show. It's called What Are We Drinking? It's the part that I'll be explaining in court before a jury of my peers. I'm going to go around, we'll go anti-clockwise on my screen and ask everyone what they're drinking. We'll start with the most backlit person I know. Ian, what are you drinking?
Can't help but change the location. Once again, cleaning out the bar fridge, the pride of Bitburg, Germany, Bitburger Pilsner.
Very nice.
All right. Andrew, what are you drinking?
Porter Lake cider.
I've never had that and I'm interested. Brian, what are you drinking?
I'm just going with the classic old style Pilsner.
Good stuff. Gavin?
I've got a Maker's Mark and a Pepsi Max this evening.
Yeah.
Ah. Good for you on the brand change. How's it taste?
Delicious.
Excellent. I am trying to trigger people by drinking Pina Colada Pale Ale from Shakespeare Brewing. There are hibiscuses on my can.
Oh, so you guys are going to give me shit when I have something with a hibiscus flower on it. But you're going to think you're going to get through with this without getting shit.
Like I said before, it takes a confident man to drink a beer with flowers on it live on YouTube.
Not just any flower, tropical flowers.
Yeah. Hey, the official beverage of the Boogaloo, apparently.
I mean, how could I say no when one of my favorite local breweries was like, we have this weird beer that no one will buy, and I'll be like, yeah, take a case.
On discount, right? Because nobody else wants it.
I mean, that is why I have a case of Christmas beer still. It's not from Christmas. It's because they were trying to get rid of it. I was like, well, for the right price, I have room at home.
I thought you were just doing like they were doing out here with like the keep your Christmas lights up while the lockdown is still on to keep things festive. It's just like you don't do that. You just do it in your own way. So just keep drinking the Christmas beer to stay festive.
I like the Christmas beer, but anyway.
I thought you were going to be rocking that candy cane beer tonight.
I was thinking about the candy cane beer.
Yeah.
But I figured we're LARPing. I'll be festive. Can pretend about other things since we're pretending about chest rigs. I have to remind everybody about the Patriot Challenge, the challenge that you do for yourself and hopefully post on social media to be a better person. Exercise for 45 minutes, practice a skill for 10 minutes, read a book for 15 minutes. Hey, maybe do book club with us. This month, Industrial Society and Its Future by Professor Theodore Kaczynski. Drink 2 liters of water, of which I have had 3 plus tea plus coffee and now beer, so I'm going to have to pee like a mother in a minute.
Pretty sure some of those things subtract some of that water, but I'm not a scientist.
Potato, I'm still going to have to pee in 45 minutes whether we're done or not.
That's why he drank extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm drinking for 2. Come on. I mean, not really, but complete 1 task every day to improve your life. And if you're not banned from the internet, you can get the template on our website, share it on or share it on your social media, and encourage people to come and listen to us. Section 74 challenges are still going on. GoFundMe link is still up in the show notes for that. Wade and company would still like your money. Also, I found out recently Wade has been in the hospital with like a terrible illness and spent a week unconscious in the ICU. So if you've tried to get in touch with Wade and it's not worked out for you, you might want to give it a minute. On that note, email address s74process@gmail.com. Someone will get back to you.
That, and if you like Wade, even if you're not planning on doing a Section 74 challenge, donate to the cause in his honor, just to give him a little, boost of inspiration to get better faster.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Put down money in Wade's name. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listener feedback from Jason. Gateway Guns.
Uh-oh.
Hi guys. In 5 years, I went from playing first-person shooter video games to playing airsoft to owning an AR-15. Airsoft is a gateway to real firearms, and that is a good thing. Put an airsoft rifle into a child's hand, and you can bring them into gun culture. When discussing the Liberal Party's... I should have proofread this email. I think we're going for antics. On gun owners, I suggest you refer to it as cultural genocide. Using a loaded term is an effective tactic the left often uses. They may not know how to respond if you use this tactic against them. Love the show.
Maybe he meant
I'm gonna
attacks.
make a small spelling correction here in the show notes, and I don't think the left will react in the way that you think they will, or at least you haven't argued with as many leftists as I have.
Yeah. Just a quick aside. One of the interesting points raised by Julius Evola, he's got a theory on sort of leftism and all of that. And so like the right way of thinking has been like the natural way for like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. The left leaning way of thought is sort of a relatively recent thing and has been waging a propaganda war ever since it started. And now we're in a situation where we don't have the way to express ourselves because it was always just the like, this is just the way that it is because this is the way of the natural world. And so now we're playing catch up, which is why it's so awkward to argue with people on the left because they have hundreds of years of, prep time into their propaganda while we just have, you're an idiot. So, get going with the propaganda for our side. Got to catch up. That's all I have to say.
Well, you're not wrong, but
Sorry, I got distracted by the YouTube comments. Gavin is right. I have nothing to contribute to the conversation. Good enough?
Yeah.
All right. I don't have dad jokes because it's not that CPP, but we are going to LARP about chess rigs for the next probably 45 minutes to an hour or until I have to pee.
Are we really going to carry the show along?
Get out.
Why, you got something on your mind about it, Andrew? You want to get off your chest rig?
Oh,
I will ban you all.
that's more than I could load bear, I tell you.
Are you done?
Why can't we hold on to all these jokes? Oh, that was bad. I'm sorry.
All right, chess rigs. We have people that are festively decorated for the podcast. So if you're not watching on YouTube, you could be. Mondays, 9 p.m. Otherwise, wherever fine podcasts are sold. That's probably where you're listening to us because the viewership numbers on YouTube are much smaller than the download numbers on the podcast hosting thing.
although we are going to see if this episode outpaces the other CPP's episode that we did on pants.
I'm convinced it will blow the pants off them.
Yeah.
See, I can do it too, and it's not funny.
It just seems forced.
The name of this one should be Dad Jokes.
No.
We don't want to steal like other CPP's thunder with that one.
Yeah. Yeah, really. All right. So chess rigs, LARPing about things that we can do in a not so free country. For some reason, if you're in a situation where you find yourself that you may want to have a bunch of stuff on or about your person in a not concealed fashion, chest rig is probably a viable option for that.
Yeah.
The bunch
Well,
of
with
stuff is not super important.
Well,
There's a bunch of different considerations I think that ought to go into it, but really it's the majority of stuff, at least for the shooting sports, is going to be on or about your belt line, right?
Yes.
Loads off your belt are faster. Pistol on your belt is a requirement for games like IPSC or IDPA. You're not cross drawing or shoulder holstering or doing any of that kind of stuff at a flat range in most places in Canada.
The one thing that I find that I have issues with. Like I've only done a few 3-gun competitions, so I'm like very new to it. But the one thing I noticed that I was having a really hard time with was shotgun shells. And then some of the rigs I saw you guys have were pretty impressive. I wouldn't even know how to start getting something like
Let me grab mine.
what do you guys recommend for something like that?
It depends on what you're trying to do with it. I think with most things, I mean, mission drives equipment, or at least it ought to in most cases. So what you're going to do for a shotgun match or a 3-gun match, or if you're someone who carries a firearm professionally, or if you're out hunting, are all involving a firearm, but in very different ways and different types of firearms. So that I think is going to dictate that in a big way.
One thing I did notice too was I noticed a lot of shotgun shells coming off of people.
Yeah, people are really bad at retaining shotgun ammunition, generally.
Is that just like a common thing, or is that because of the setup?
Yes. I mean, it kind of depends on what it is. Like, so if you're shooting one of Craig's crazy 3-gun matches, it's probably because you're shooting shotgun in some sort of weird, bizarre position you've never had to, or at least have to carry the shotgun shells while shooting another gun in some weird position that you've never had to.
Yeah.
Like they're designed to like be easy to grab the shells from.
Yeah.
Which means that like there's retention, but there's little retention, right? Because you want to be able to pull them off easily.
Yeah.
So the greater the retention, the less likely they are to fall out all over the place, but then the harder they are to pull out quickly.
So you got to kind of try to find that balance.
Yeah, it's a balance between speed and how well things hold on, how secure it is.
Yeah, I mean, I like running my shotgun shells on a chest rig, which ties in nicely to this episode, because that leaves my pistol rifle belt, the same pistol rifle belt that I use for shooting either one of those things or 2-gun matches or whatever. And then, I just throw the added chest rig on with my shotgun shells, and then I just pull them off my chest.
Yeah, Andrew's is pretty cool. He's got a ton. Now, where would you slap that, Andrew? Like right
on
across
your chest? Right across your chest, yeah.
How does that go on? It just loops through?
There's just a traditional buckle in the back, plastic buckle.
Oh, wow.
So it's a belt or a...
You could wear it like a belt too.
Or a bandolier.
It all depends on what other gear you're wearing. If you're wearing a belt, you're not going to put this on over top of it because then you can't access the belt. So you wear it on your chest, but if you're wearing a chest rig, then you can't wear this on your chest. You'd wear it somewhere else. So it's I haven't quite used it much in multi-gun. So
yeah, some of those can be effective. Depends on the setup. There's a couple guys that I've seen that run is yours the Invictus?
Invictus Practical, and this holds 32 rounds. So
yeah, I've seen some of the guys run the Invictus stuff pretty good. I've got the Invictus belt mount stuff that I'm happy with, but space limiting because it's a big piece of equipment to stick on your belt line.
I kind of want to find one where you run it down your thigh and strap it almost like a thigh rig, but I almost think that might be too insecure.
Well, that's the Ammo Pal on Amazon. You can get one of those.
Yeah, but like better than that.
Yeah,
I saw somebody run something like that at one of the matches, and it worked really well until they had to like get down on the ground and shoot modified prone on that side, and then like they lost 2/3 of their ammo.
Yeah,
that's just laying on the ground. I lost all my shotgun shells on not just because of the type of shell holder. As soon as there's any sort of force on the shotgun shells, they just pop off.
Now, I mean, the nice thing about some of the stuff is that it'll fit in the MOLLE webbing, so you can, even if it's not necessarily designed to go on a chest rig, you can get like just a plain MOLLE placard or chest rig where it doesn't have any other cool features, and then just fit it into the MOLLE, so you'd be able to carry at least some across your chest, so that way, if you are running out of space on your belt, because there's a lot of things to carry on your belt, rifle mags, pistol mags, holster, probably a dump pouch, hopefully some medical kit, you start running out of real estate on a belt really, really, really quickly, which is why we're having this conversation tonight about where do you put all of your other shit.
Well, and big consideration with where to put all your stuff is, I mean, what are you doing with all of your stuff? Because 3-gun is different from hunting, is different from professional firearms carrier, is different from let's say hypothetically, I don't know, overthrowing a government.
Running
Yeah,
around the
in-
acreage, hunting down predators, whatever.
in Minecraft.
Yeah.
So there are going to be different considerations for that. But I mean, like in general, in any kind of a, call it a tactical sport or a tactical situation, the three same basics apply universally, right? Shoot, move, communicate, and the often forgotten about first aid.
Yeah.
And it really, like, whatever the tactical application is doesn't really matter. Like, shoot, move, communicate is pretty standard, and first aid, because stuff goes wrong.
Yeah.
So how do you accommodate those 3 (4) key things that you need to do? My mind, the big thing is probably having a line system, first line, second line, third line equipment, having some stuff spread across all of that. But it depends on if you're able to transition that equipment through what you're doing, or if you need to take it all with you, or can you easily change? How long do you have to carry your equipment for? Is it like a 3-gun match where you can change stuff in and out between stages, or are you going deer hunting where you're in the bush until you drag Bambi's mom out? Right? Like there are different requirements for each of those.
I never
Maybe you
shoot
can-
Bambi's mom. I shoot Bambi's daddy.
Well, whichever.
Yeah, they're both delicious.
They are.
Goes good with bacon.
Exactly.
Little bacon wrapped deer. Whoa.
Although I have shot
Sure.
a doe before.
But I mean, like, if you're going to go hunting a deer by yourself, that's probably different than if you're going pheasant hunting with a dog, is probably different than if you're going deer hunting with a group of people and having them drive through the woods. And there are all of these considerations with how do you deal with that, and how do you communicate with these people, and how do you navigate the area that you're operating in or hunting in or carrying on. So if you're going out for a
Wild turkey is the best for chest rigs, and like there's a whole lineup of vests when it comes to wild turkeys.
Yeah, I don't know if I could fit a bottle of wild turkey in my chest rig though. I don't think these pouches.
bigger pouch.
No, not
Need a backpack.
And if you're hunting for wild turkey of that sort, you don't want to walk into a liquor store dressed like that either. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that depends.
The actual
on your
bird.
neighborhood, I suppose.
There's a lot of like, they're not chest rigs, but they're quite a few vests.
Yeah.
There is actually quite a few pockets and things going on in the front. So, I mean, that's probably one of the closest.
Yeah, I would say that the like airsoft is a gateway gun to real guns. I would say that like a turkey chest rig is a gateway chest rig into a tactical
It's
one.
a gateway vest.
Some of them are even actually starting to like utilize some of the Molly stuff, which is kind of cool to see how the different sort of,
A gateway vest.
things are utilizing something. Like even like companies that would be very, very anti-military application, or at least their customers would be, are now getting this Molly stuff on it. They just don't tell them that it's like a military thing, and they just say it's for attachment of accessories. All excited
Well,
about
it is. It is for attachment accessories.
Yeah. Tactical.
So I'd say, like, primarily the history, at least with the chest rig, we got to go back to Chinese Communist Party, because I've been listening to Alex Jones again. But no,
the water and stuff.
well, no, the
Fucking frogs
The-
are gay.
the 50s, 60s kind of time frame, the AK-47 becoming a prevalent weapon to Chinese allied states, particularly places like Vietnam.
No.
The Chi-Com chest rig is sort of like the precursor to all modern chest rigs, because AK mags kind of curved,
Yeah.
difficult to put into square pouches. So they just sew bigger square pouches to put the curved magazine in. And this is kind of the precursor to all modern military style chest rigs.
Yeah. I mean, it's right up there with like, Vietnam and all kinds of crazy innovations like tactical jeans and tiger stripe camo.
Man, I love tactical jeans. Not really tiger stripe camo though.
That's a classic though.
Tactical jeans.
Yeah, the Spec Ops guys in Vietnam would wear jeans.
Okay, but what makes them tactical?
Nothing. It's just that they held up
Killing
better than
communists while you're wearing them.
yeah. Yeah, nothing. It's just that's what they wore because the denim held up better.
Nice.
That was comfortable in plus 30.
Yeah.
35.
Yeah, and 100% humidity, and
Yeah.
so getting your plate carrier. We'll get to plate carriers. Getting your chest rig squared away. Primarily, I think ammunition is going to be the driving requirement for your chest rig. Getting stuff up off the belt line. Putting weight on your belt, generally speaking, is going to suck. So freeing up the real estate on your belt for other, call them more critical applications, things like a pistol. If you're in a situation where you can have a pistol and ammunition for that pistol, having that, very minimum first line set of equipment. Or if you're doing some sort of shooting competition where you can have, say, IPSC or IDPA or multi-gun or 3-gun or service pistol, where you can generally have a holster and some collection of magazine pouches that are more or less interchangeable between all those disciplines. You can usually get away with some kind of a belt setup that's more or less going to work for most of those sports. But as soon as you have to start adding in things like, like on Sunday when we're going to do the Film Aficionado gun series at our
Commando, just so you guys know.
That's the worst Arnold I've heard.
I haven't heard yours yet.
But it's going to be going all Sunday. Yeah. And that's why that's why I like my setup. I've got, my pistol and then pistol mags, rifle mags, holster, dump pouch. That's my belt setup. And I use that for pretty much everything.
Like Andrew said, I don't like to put too much weight on my belt, maybe a couple mags, but then carry the rest of them on the chest rig.
I think that's also why I have a little bit more than maybe some people on my belt line, but that's also why I have the cool tactical suspenders to help carry some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, tactical suspenders go a long way in my mind, especially when you're getting up to the bigger battle belt, war belt style belts, when you're not just rocking the leather belt from Walmart and the holster and 2 mags.
Yeah.
IDPA rolls.
Yeah.
Reloading off your chest rig, of course, is going to be slower. There's an economy of motion to load off of your belt line, especially from that ready mag position on your non-dominant side right in front of your hip. Fastest reload's almost always going to come from there for almost everybody.
Yeah, but one of them on last match we did, the Boondocks, when we had to get low, it was faster from the chest.
Oh, yeah, sure. If you're reloading in an awkward position where it's hard to get to your belt line, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
so there are pros to have them here, obviously, even if you don't want to do it just for the weight. But
there's advantages to that. I think the same thing, like if you're in an opportunity where you're getting in and out of vehicles and carrying any amount of that equipment, having a bunch of junk on your belt line is going to make it really hard to get in and out of car seats.
Yeah.
Putting it on your chest so it's in front of you is going to make that easier.
Yeah. Like if you ever tried to sit in a car with a holster on, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's probably
really depending on the shape of your car and everything else, it kind of goes in the wrong place. And that's why a chest rig with a chest holster is beauty in a car. It doesn't bug you at all. But then there's some other concerns with that, and maybe muzzling your friends that are sitting next to you or the people and whatnot and all of that. So
waving at people as they drive by.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely some consideration around what you're planning on doing and how you're planning on doing it. But the shoot, move, communicate thing, the piece that I think needs to drive what you're putting on your chest rig. Outside of the LARPing, because if you're going to a 3-gun match, it's probably ammo. A lot of ammo.
All of the ammo, yeah.
Yeah, especially here where
a lot of ammo. Yeah. Well, I'm wearing my service rifle rig tonight for the podcast while everybody has all of their various accoutrements. So my service rifle rig from when we were a country where we were allowed to shoot AR-15s in a competitive fashion required 55 rounds of ammunition and 5 round of magazines. So that's a lot of mags to be hauling around.
Yeah, that's why you guys look like you're ready to go to war. You're like, Okay.
Right, because I don't want to have to like bomb up mags between like stages while I'm doing a 500-yard rundown, because that sucks. I've tried it. It doesn't work for me. A simpler solution in my case with service rifle is to just literally have 11 magazines.
Yeah. And like a typical combat loadout wouldn't even be 10 magazines. Mind you, they would have like full capacity magazines, but it would be fewer magazines than that.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
by much.
We're talking
Seven,
to
I think,
Ian.
isn't it?
10 mags,
Yeah.
300 rounds.
We're talking to Ian, not this Ian, but American Ian. And remember, he was talking about how much better he got at mag changes because he shoots up here. Because down there, you're allowed to have full capacity magazines, so you don't have to mag change so fast.
Yeah. No, mag changes are a thing up here.
I would say that that generally, if you were doing your combat loadout, if you were being deployed in an operational capacity for a modern military using an AR-15 style M4 type weapons system, you're probably looking at 7 mags.
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah,
right. That's what
sometimes a little less, sometimes a
for
little more, but like
the American Army and Marine Corps both issue out, I think 7. The Canadian Forces issues out, I'm certain 7. Is they conveniently have a certain number of magazine pouches.
How many pistol mags do they have to carry?
Most don't have pistols.
I would imagine very few.
Yeah, it's usually like one in the gun and then a spare.
Yeah.
But they're also using like full cap mags for that. So depending on what they're carrying, you know, it ranges.
They'll have 17 round magazines.
Well, if it's a Glock, if it's something else, it'll be plus or minus. You know,
and usually it's just officers or specialty guys only, isn't it? For pistols?
It depends. More people are getting pistols the last 15 or 20 years with the global war on terror. Because
I guess with engagements getting closer,
awkward, uncomfortable. So it depends a lot, I think. But if it's operational, you do what your chain of command tells you to do, and you get what's issued to you by the government, with which you are being employed to do the things. So you get what you get. But if you can take whatever you want, more mags. In our case, talking about shooting Bambi's dad. Right, I got it right this time, Brian?
Yes.
Excellent. Or doing 3-gun, all of the ammo. Well, actually, with hunting, it's probably very little ammo. It's probably a few rounds, right?
Yeah, but always bring extra.
And still a radio if you're talking to other hunters that want to shoot Bambi's dad, too.
Well, I think that's more where you get
all the more important in that,
if you're doing the mil sim or playing the airsoft or the other things that I look down upon slightly. Or if you're hunting and you're using your two-way radio to talk to somebody else because you have a radio that you're legally able to use.
Yeah.
The same radio license thing is really wearing on me, by the way.
Yeah.
If you have a two-way radio that you're allowed to use and you have other people that are allowed to use theirs and you have some type of radio communication.
Yeah, which, I mean, when you're going as a hunting party for, I mean, all kinds of stuff, I mean, communicating is super important because you are probably all wearing camouflage and you are carrying guns with the purpose of shooting at things in the bush.
Not when you're shooting Bambi's dad, you're all wearing bright orange. So
you really need to know where your people are, though.
Except for in BC where they don't require that, of course.
Yeah, that, and like also when you're hunting as a party, like if you have one tag between 6 of you, it's super important to radio that you just filled your tag so that somebody else doesn't take another one, and now you've just broken the law.
Most of those kind of hunts in Ontario are like controlled. So you usually can see your buddies because you're only yards away from each other, and you'll hear the shot.
But still super important to do all of that stuff, right? Being able to communicate 100%. Is probably the most important thing that you could do.
So another question from somebody that doesn't know too much about it, but like I was checking up before the show, I was looking on Amazon, of course, looking up their chest rigs, and obviously probably not the best quality, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to just go there and buy something. So if they were and use the affiliate link, what would you recommend? Like
that you instead fund my child's college fund by shopping at ragnaroktactical.ca.
Yes.
Because I don't know what is on Amazon for chest rigs, but I'm going to assume it's like Chinese airsoft garbage.
I think the
a lot
best
of
thing
it
that they
was- a
might
lot of it
have
was-
is Condor, which is
Yeah, I was gonna say I think
at
Yeah.
the
Condor was-
bottom barrel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was like the predominant name brand, if it even is, that I saw on Amazon was all the Condor stuff.
I mean,
So I don't want to knock Condor too hard. It's inexpensive Chinese made nylon garbage,
Yeah.
but
it's probably the best made Chinese garbage.
right, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not good, and I don't want to give my money to Chinese companies where there is literally any other alternative.
Yeah.
well, I guess the best thing we could say is it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
No, I
There's
mean,
nothing
I
on
would-
Amazon that's not
I
Chinese.
think I'd rather take a surplus Chicom rig from Verstuleka than from like a Condor rig from Amazon.
That's fair.
Okay, so but Andrew, like what you just mentioned, a lot of people aren't going to know that story you just talked about. They're just going to go shop on it.
Verstuleka? They have great licorice. You should ask Gavin about meeting them in shot.
I gave Marty the licorice the other day.
So what is
Hopefully he
this
sampled
shop?
it.
What is the shop you're talking about?
They are a Finnish
Yeah.
military surplus and tactical store. They ship internationally. They're very
Yeah.
reasonably priced.
And they
Yeah,
ship
yeah.
fast too.
Stupid reasonably priced for like, yeah, surplus kit and new kit. Like they make their own stuff now, which is baller.
Yeah. Their house brand stuff I think is mostly made in Estonia, and it's
Yeah.
very good quality.
Shipping
Okay.
prices are totally reasonable. Actually, they're really good, and the shipping
And
times are
fast.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
thing
will
that I
put
picked up
a
the
link
most
for
about it is-
Verstuleka in the. I'll put a link in the show notes for people that have not
Yeah.
had the chance to peruse their website before.
And it's one of the
Yeah.
few emails that you get for advertising that's actually worth reading.
Yeah.
The propaganda newsletters are hilarious.
Based fins are awesome to drink with. Very difficult to understand them when they are hammered, though.
Or sober. I mean, they're fins.
Yeah. When he was trying to give me salty licorice, I thought he was trying to give me salty liquids, and you could see how I was a little disgusted with
I was
that.
like, what? Salty liquids.
You want to? Well, I mean, to be fair, Gavin had already been propositioned by other men in Las Vegas during that
Yeah.
trip, so like,
Yeah,
His mind was
it's a
in the wrong
little
place.
traumatic for me. Yeah,
I know before anyone asks, it was not me that was propositioning Gavin.
Andrew wasn't even in the country at the time.
Wasn't even there.
You can still do it through Zoom.
That
Zoom
not
wasn't a
what we're
thing
doing.
either. Yeah, it's an
FaceTime?
in-person,
FaceTime.
uncomfortable in-person encounter. Join our Discord. Maybe I'll tell you the story there.
Oh, for people on the YouTube, Verstuleka. I will put a link in the YouTube as well, since.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
Put a
interesting
European
question.
accent on where is the liquor, and that's how you
Yeah.
properly pronounce the name. And they actually have that written on their website.
They have a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
They're very funny. YouTube question: thoughts on the South African Defense Force Pattern 87 chest rig?
Only if you're going to wear the short shorts with it.
I mean,
Gavin's the king of short shorts, so he knows all about it.
I'm just waiting for a pair to come back in stock.
I mean, so it's a classic. Like that design has been around for a while now. The problem with that is that like all of the Chinese companies have knocked it off and made it. So if you can find one that's actually good quality, I would say yes.
well, I mean, again, not like I really should just talk to these guys and get an affiliate code, but like Verstuleka, $160 Canadian, $15 shipping right now, DHL. It'll get here in a week. Original, unissued SADF Pattern 83 chest rig.
Oh man, it's a good thing this camera is not down lower because my pants just got tight.
And so, like, that's not a bad. So the South African Defense Force rig, 3 double mag pouches, large utility pouch, small utility pouch, medium utility pouch. Not a bad layout.
I'm
Yeah,
assuming
and
it's
doesn't
like
it
a
have like
sandy
a-
brown though, or is it what color is it?
It is not baby shit brown that is flat dark earth. It is a different
wet sand brown.
Is
Yeah.
that what wet sand?
I guess it boils
Kind
down
of.
to what part of the country you're working in, like whether it be like arid savanna Calgary or lush green
Yeah.
southern Ontario in summer or whatever
Yeah,
like you're
it's
planning on using it with.
definitely. You know what? Carhartt brown, I think, is probably the closest
Yeah.
color you can get to that.
Doesn't
Okay, yeah, I
that
see
that
that.
rig also have like a little back compartment too on it?
The 83 pattern kit has a battle jacket,
Yeah.
which has the little like commando backpack thing, and it's more like a modular vest sort of an affair. It's got a couple of big utility pouches and a couple of small magazine pouches.
Well, yeah, like if one thing you can do, if you get something and it's not quite in the color, you can just spray paint it.
Yeah.
Don't lay it on thick though.
Nylon.
Light.
You can try and dye it. It may or may not work.
Yeah, light coats of just like rattle can will change the color for you. Don't lay it on thick. It's not a pink Cerakoted shotgun. thin coats.
Thin coats. Yeah, the South African stuff's not bad. You obviously the Chinese knockoff. Yeah. Everybody and their dog makes one of those.
I would take a Condor thing over the Chinese knockoff of that South African rig because the South African rig knockoffs are like the worst quality ever.
Yeah, and I've compiled a whole list of brands that we can talk about, but I want to go back to more of the basics. So the South African Defense Force example, the 83 pattern kit, they have theirs is one of the sewn kits. There's no
you can't
adjustment or modularity to it. You get what you get. It holds 6 AR style Stenag pattern magazines, and it's got a big utility pouch, a little utility pouch, and a medium utility pouch, and they're where they are, and you can't move them, and there's no adjustment. All they have for adjustment is the sizing of the rig, just the chest strap and the shoulder strap, and that's it. Yeah. And the same thing, the Chi-Com rigs are basically the same thing. They're usually like 3 or 6 or 8 AK mags. Depends on how they arrange the pockets, and maybe you get utility pouches, maybe you don't. That's it. There's no adjustment. It's all just sewn together. Some of the really old ones are like canvas. Most of the new stuff is nylon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a weird sort of like X harness thing with a little back strap, and yeah, it's just your canvas bags across your chest.
Which,
but it works, right? It holds mags.
That. Just like you're very limited on options. Lots of places do the sewn stuff. Some places do all the Molly stuff. Like the service rifle rig that I'm running today is an old Tactical Tailor modular assault vest that they no longer make because apparently I've had it that long. They no longer produce them. It was like the biggest small chest rig I could get at the time when I started shooting service rifle like 10 years ago. Because you get like a lot of magazines, you see a lot of magazines, and it's very different than the modern Haley or Helicon techs or some of the other they're more integrated with modern plate carriers, so they're like 6 columns of Molly wide, so it's like 3 AR mag pouches wide kind of an affair.
Yeah.
The Molly stuff is much more modular. Obviously, it's Molly. The first letter is modular, right? That's
like they planned
Molly.
that, yeah.
Well, and to be fair, I think the old Chinese stuff wasn't modular and wasn't really adjustable because the life expectancy or expected use wasn't that high. Should we put it that way?
Yeah, I mean, it's doesn't have to last long. Just got to get your mags off.
Yeah.
And definitely buy quality for it. Like, unless you're just going to be doing airsoft, buy
Even
quality
then,
because you hit the dirt once, it's gone. Like,
even
it's totally gonna rip open, or if you fudge.
I don't know. I had some Condor stuff when I started into competitive shooting because I definitely thought that the cool modular vest thing that they were doing was like the way to go. You remember like the
the 90s SWAT vest jacket
what
thing
was that?
almost.
It was Richard Dean Anderson was like a
Stargate.
space cowboy.
Yeah.
Stargate. Thank you.
But I mean, like for the longest time, that was all that was like readily available for you to walk into a store and buy.
Yeah,
right?
Condor would be
Blackhawk still makes it. That's the exact same one 30 years later.
Yeah.
Condor would be like the absolute minimum I'd ever buy. If you can't afford Condor, save up. Like,
if you can't afford Condor, buy surplus.
if you can find good price surplus. I don't know. Around me, everything's really expensive. So
I mean, it depends
yeah,
on
you
what
have
you're
to
going for,
ship it
but
from
like, yeah,
Finland.
it's one or the other, yeah. But yeah, if you want something more modern and modular, then I would say like Ponder will get you by until you can afford something else. But like if you already don't have it and you're doing without, save up a little bit more, get something better.
or try and find an old Alice system from the surplus stores near you. That's
Yeah,
somewhat
Alice
modular.
Bad.
Somewhat, yeah.
It's not bad. It's it's not good, but it's better than something that you can't change at all.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of like the modularity of like the newer systems. And
Yeah.
to be able to like scale up or down, and integrate it into other things you've already got. Because like I said, I like to wear my pistol belt with that on it, and then I can throw a chest rig on, and then my chest rig will clip into my plates, and then if I need to, then I can throw a backpack on top of that. And it's like everything just kind of scales up as I need more stuff.
Modularity, and that's kind of what I was touching on a long time ago with the tiered systems, having your pistol belt and then being able to add a chest rig and then being able to add a plate carry and then being able to add a backpack and having more of the things to do the shooting, moving, and communicating thing, and bigger and better first aid kits as we go.
And not having to like completely reconfigure your kit, like having it be modular and then being able to reconfigure it if you need to is great. But being able to just scale it up or down without having to completely take everything apart, adjust it to make it into something else, right? Like that's
saying
the big
you don't
thing.
want to take all the pouches off and like reweave.
No, because even though
HSCI
HSCI has gotten better with those clips, they still suck to take off when you don't have to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was being facetious. I like the scaling up and down thing because I like same kind of similar system as Gavin. I shouldn't say it's the same because Gavin and I walked different roads to get to the same place.
Yeah, the concept is the same. We just went with different brands, basically.
And mine is more driven by the competitive nature of the shooting sports I'm involved in, whereas yours is more of the outdoorsy stuff. But the idea is the same. Yeah. The belt with the essentials, and then the plate carrier with the more stuff, or the chest rig with the more stuff, and then the addition of the plate carrier, and then the backpack.
Yeah. And even then, a lot of it is exactly the same stuff that we've arrived at independently.
Because, we've arrived at the same conclusions about a bunch of this equipment going through similar things.
Yeah, like government is terrible.
Government is terrible.
Speaking of terrible government decisions, actually, the one thing we haven't discussed is maybe if the border ever does reopen, go to an actual American surplus store. The difference is noticeable between Canadian ones with actual American issued surplus stuff.
Yeah, that's fair if you can get across to the US and do that.
If they ever reopen it anyway.
Well, I'm sure there are places you could shop online in the US and do that they would ship to you.
Yeah.
I'm sure America has the internet now.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
America.
What's his face invented it? Al Gore. So
I thought he invented the weather.
No, that was a lie.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, he lied about climate change. He did invent the internet, though.
So we touched on the shooting. Pack all the ammunition.
All of it.
We touched on the communication. Put your radio in a pouch.
Make sure you can talk.
If I could just interrupt for a sec on that, Andrew, too. For the guys that don't have to go in a vehicle, a lot of guys put the radio on the back, but the problem is with the antenna, you want to make sure it gets well above your head because you don't have an RF burn on the back of your scalp. So if you get a long whip antenna or whatever, you can do that. But it's an option anyway.
Well, and so I mean, to go on, like, so right now I've got my little chest rig on. My plate carrier, I've got a slightly different radio setup. But when I've just got the chest rig, my radio just sits inside the pouch that's the worst to grab a magazine from because I'm never going to grab a magazine. So that's the one that's like all the way in my right armpit. And my radio just sits there. And right now I've got a little tiny stubby antenna with this. When I've got my plate carrier on, it goes in out of there and into a pouch on my plate carrier in the back. And then, one of those big giant whip ones. And the reason I have the slightly different setups is because when I've got this chest rig on with the radio in that position, I don't want a giant antenna messing with my rifle and my sling and stuff like that.
Makes sense.
Right? Like a giant antenna coming up in my face like this, not going to be cool And even if I were to put it on the other side, it's like, okay, great. So now it's not really interfering with my rifle. It's still in my face though. But also the one fast mag from my chest rig is now taken up by my radio.
Less than ideal.
Yeah.
Definitely less than ideal.
But yeah, radio is good. I've got my little push to talk thing on it too, with my headset
having
wired
the,
in.
the push to talk up high on your shoulder is nice like that. I see Gavin's got other crap hanging off of his shoulder straps there.
It's just for the move part.
We should get to that. What do you got there?
This is just the Fortrex 401.
A little GPS unit.
Yeah.
Gavin's the gear guy.
Gavin is definitely a gear whore. I feel like that is a fair description.
If you ever need a piece of technology for something, anything, just
I could
ask
just
Gavin.
always take this kit, which is my other very similar kit. That's
That was your GPS kit there that you
more
navigated
beefed
all
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
A very similar setup, but a little bit more advanced.
I see Andrew has something on the front of his too that he's got his you got your
Well,
phone.
we should talk about that piece because part of the communicate piece. This is getting to be a more common thing. Is do you want to describe the doodad?
Okay, so I 3D printed this instead of paying hundreds for the real thing. But
I feel personally attacked, but okay.
I'm cheap. I'm cheap and I have a 3D printer, so I'm trying out things
way
that
to
way
use your
instead.
agency to shame us.
Yeah. So there's a couple cases. I believe Juggernaut is the main one.
Cagworks.
Juggernaut Master
Yeah, and
Race.
Cagworks,
Yeah.
they make the next big one.
Yeah.
And
It
shout out
is
to a Canadian brand. If you want to
Yeah.
just Velcro your stuff together, Persec makes one.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll possibly check that out.
You have to use your own
Theirs is much
phone
more affordable.
case. Yeah, your own phone case. But yeah, it's got the nav board, and yeah, you just Velcro that shit on there.
Oh, perfect. So what this is, it's a MOLLE mounted phone mount. And so normally you'd get a whole phone case, much stronger than an OtterBox, like totally waterproof, sealed in, comes with its own connectors so you can plug in headphones or USB or whatever, built like a brick. And it folds down. You're not gonna be able to, really picture this on when you're listening, but it folds down. So it's, I don't know, right around your sternum. So you look down and you can see your phone perfectly. It folds down flat like a map. And then you can access all your phone. You can type. Main purpose is to use an app called ATAC, which just recently got released to the civilian market and cut down quite a bit. But it is
Whatever. I can still call in both a 9-line and CAS and Fire Mission. Like I have all the features I need.
Yeah.
You can draw dicks and send them to your
And
friends.
most importantly, when you're using it with your friends, you can draw dicks over Mississauga.
Yeah. So what that is a GPS and mapping program, and so you link up with your squad. You can send all your info to everyone, all your intel and stuff. You can just send pictures of where you want to go.
Text messages, photos. You can draw on it. You can basically all of the stuff.
Yeah, you can live stream security cameras, or if you've got a drone flying overhead, you can live stream that to your phone and stuff like that. It works really great when you got cell service. We're working on different ways to get it working totally off grid right now. And it just gives you quite easy access in a spot on your plate carrier that you don't use for anything except for different navigation equipment. So it's in the perfect spot. It's up out of the way. You can still access all of your mags without any issue. It folds up, and so it's protected. If you get shot in the chest, other than having a problem of being shot in the chest, you're gonna lose your phone too, but you just got shot in the chest. So
it's the least of your worries.
You're gonna worry about.
Yeah. So other than that, but it's well protected because you're not gonna really drop on it because it's right below your chin. Versus if it's down by where your mag pouches are, by your belly button, you're gonna drop on that a lot and do a lot of damage to it. Which is also some of the downsides to a chest rig. If you put a lot of mags out front, you can't suck dirt when you want to suck dirt if you're getting shot at. You can't lay down as much as you want or be really uncomfortable. It's trying to find a balance between all
dirty
that.
Service rifle secret to give away in case we ever get back to being able to shoot service rifle in this country. The zip up or clippable front chest rigs you just lay it out, and they lay right down, and you monopod your rifle on your mag, and it's all out of the way.
Yeah.
So those are the things you can't do with a traditional chest rig. You got to get something more specific for that. So I just 3D printed this mount. I still got to put the Velcro in there to hold my phone in place because right now it's just sliding back and forth. Just because I just put this in here as testing out different plastics and different colors. So I found one that matches my plain Jane olive drab, just because I'm in love with that color. And I always seem to get on the camo train late. As soon as I jumped on the multicam, everyone jumped over to Hawaiian print.
No, I'm still rocking the MC solid, bro.
Yeah,
like I got
my OD green, and I got all my other stuff's in multicam. So
so like I've got
I'm
the
like
same,
half OD, half multicam. I'm starting to get all the multicam stuff now, but
same as Andrew with the flip down for my phone. I've just got it on my my chest rig though.
Yeah, and he's got the real one. So
I've got a molly flap on my chest rig that allows me to basically do the exact same thing, but on the chest rig. The only downside to this is that when it's on my plate carrier, it does hang a little low, and then I start getting into the whole it's on my gut versus like up high where his is. But I found with this one on my plates where I did have it originally, one, it's stuck on my plates then and not when I have just my chest rig to be light. And I have a newer phone that's way more massive, and that would just be like up in my chin with it. So that kind of sucked.
Yeah,
my old phone that was a little smaller
phone.
was fine.
yeah, and it all depends on your eyes too.
Yeah.
If you are in that terrible spot where you're farsighted or whatever, you got to tweak around where this is going to be.
I just didn't have enough.
Might not be for you.
It just didn't have enough rows of molly to get it like one lower, and then it would have been fine because like I could see it fine, but it was just like the new phone was just like that half an inch thicker or whatever or wider, and it was just like all up in my chin. Not cool.
Yeah, and you got to make sure that your plate
mine.
carrier actually has the spots to support it. 'Cause some plate carriers just have a Velcro patch up top where above your magazine pouches. Then obviously you can't put that there unless you get the Persec gear one that slaps on with Velcro. So you just got to plan ahead a little bit on what you sort of want to get. Set up a list of all the gear you want to get and the reasons why, and practice stuff out, find stuff out through your friends, borrow some gear, find out what works for you, and then
talk to Gavin. He has one of everything.
Yeah.
I just recently learned he has 2 Fortrexes. I don't even have 1 Fortrex.
Well, this is the old one that broke, so I got a new one, and then I spent some time and disassembled it with a little bit of sandpaper and got rid of the corroding that happened to it and fixed it.
Again, 2 Fortrexes, no Fortrexes. It's fine. I'm not taking it
It
personally.
boils
you know,
down,
like,
Andrew, to basically disposable diapers or disposable income. You can't have both.
Yeah, and you know that
Yeah.
if we're ever in the
Yeah.
shit, I'd lend it to you.
I know, and I appreciate that. I would like one because my gear feels incomplete by comparison.
yeah,
It's
like
fair.
I was so glad that you had a bunch of plate carriers because I found out that I really hate the cummerbund system that you have to Velcro underneath your mag pouches. That's a pain in the ass for me.
All about clips.
And
That's
all about clips.
Yeah.
So I found that out right away with immediately as upon putting it on. I'm like, okay, so my shirt's getting stuck in this. It's scratching me. I know that's baby problems, but it's just uncomfortable to put on and take off versus the clip system. You do 2 or 4 clips and you can take the whole plate carrier off. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta. That's what I gotta upgrade on my plate carrier next is the cummerbund. I really like the elastic cummerbund because it's nice and like I can get it snug, but then like it still moves with me versus like the nylon webbing one that's like once that's locked in, like it's locked in. But when you got your chest rig that velcros on top of it and everything else, it's like I've got to lift up 6 different layers to be able to get out of it. And after wearing it all day, you're like, oh my god, this is so hot and sweaty. I just want to get out of this.
Having a specific type of placard system that you could clip into your plate carrier. I don't know if somebody else came out with it before it was Haley, but I'm going to say that Haley was the people that popularized this. So you have it's it's 6 columns, 3 rows of molly.
Yeah, I mean so the Haley one is 4 magazines wide. Micros are 3, but the clip placement is what's important.
The clip is what is important.
Placement is
so
like 3 mags
into your plate carrier, and it's reasonably
Standard.
universal with modern
Yeah.
plate carriers, that they're all the same type of Fastex buckle and they're all in the same location or close enough that it doesn't matter?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all like the 1-inch buckles that are, roughly ish nipple height.
About a nipple width apart.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know, like they're, and yeah,
I feel like that guy on Waterboy.
yeah. And yeah, you can clip in almost any modern chest rig, whether it's 3 wide or 4 wide, or even if it's just a Molly placard that you can customize yourself. Yeah, like it just clips in.
Which I think is a nice thing to be able to scale up and scale down, because body armor, I'm going to say, is almost never appropriate. Unless you're getting shot at and you need body armor, and then it's highly appropriate. But
Yeah.
generally speaking, you're probably not the kind of person that walks around every day worried about having to like carry rifle plates because someone's going to shoot at you with a rifle.
Yeah.
And at that point, you probably have it in your
not listening to
backpack.
us
Yeah.
be nerdy about how to like set up your plate carrier.
Yeah.
And another benefit to the placard system is that if you have different loadouts that you want to do, like one day you want to shoot 308 or
That's the
5.56
thing that I
another,
really like with
you
the
can swap your
placards.
mags out entirely. Or, I'm, being
Yeah.
an instructor today, so I don't need mags, but I need first aid kits, teaching supplies, whatever. You can slap that all on and, still get the exercise of wearing your plates or, just wearing a chest rig, whatever. It's entirely flexible instead of having to spend like half an hour and bruising all your fingers trying to get these fucking clips off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
That's the thing I like with the modularity with the modern systems in the last, what's that, probably 5 years that's really become popular. Maybe a little bit more.
It's
because they were
out a little longer ago, but yeah, 5 years is really when it's like taken off, and it's like everyone's knocking off everybody with that.
Well, it's almost a standard now. It's not, but it's almost a standard. Like almost all the big names are all interoperable.
Yeah, there's still a few weirdos, but yeah.
I like I like the ability to change between, like what Andrew was just saying with, well, if you're going to do 3-gun stuff, then you put your 3-gun placard on, or if you're going to do shotgun stuff, you have the shotgun one, and there's not a lot of having to mess around with it because you can set it up and leave it. Now, I mean, this requires you to have the disposable income to have a bunch of these set up that you're probably not using very often.
But I mean, if you're operational and the government's paying for it, then you could set up.
Different.
Yeah, here's my AR rig, here's my AK rig, here's my pistol rig, here's my whatever rig, and just your plates stay your plates, and you don't have to mess with them, and you just click in and click out as needed, right?
Well, and I like that. I also like the interoperability with backpacks, because wearing a plate carrier with a backpack kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks a lot. Join us for a hate hike when we go for a wilderness walk with firearms, and it's great exercise, not terribly comfortable. Would much rather run a micro chest rig. Get my ATAC phone and my radio and my first aid kit, and I'm all set, because I don't go for a walk in the woods with firearms with my friends, because my friends are a bunch of drunks.
Allegedly.
Or we have excellent vintage European sporting arms where we don't have to worry about a bunch of detachable magazines.
Yeah, but I mean, also like the backpacks are great. You can carry a lot. They distribute weight well. You can put the waist belt on, and like they're awesome. And we'll never get rid of backpacks. And I'm a big backpack whore. That's what started me down this gear whore path, is backpacks, right? Because you can never have the right backpack. There's always a better one. But there's this thing called the diver's triangle, where like that's where you can get to stuff with either hand easily. Can't really do that when it's on your back. Like you have to take the backpack off or move the backpack to your front to be able to access it. If you were, I don't know, injured or pinned under something, that's really difficult to do. So having it in the diver's triangle, which is basically a big triangle that goes like across your shoulders and down to your groin.
Just to be clear, you're going to touch nipples again? Is that?
Well, like your shoulders, so across your shoulders, so above your nipples, and then down to your groin, your genitalia is a point, so a triangle.
Your gender neutral reproductive space?
The tip of your thumb is the tip of the triangle.
Yeah, your no place, right?
Right.
There, that's where you can literally grab anything easily with either hand. So if your arm gets blown off and you need to do something about it, your other hand can do the thing that it needs to do. So you want to
I
keep
hope
things.
the thing is a tourniquet. I really hope the thing is a tourniquet.
Yeah, and that's why my med kit is on the front here in the diver's triangle. So you can do that, right? Whereas a backpack is not really easy to get stuff.
I mean, to be fair,
from.
if you were missing one arm, it would probably be a lot easier to get the backpack off.
It's true. Half of it would probably already be hanging off the shoulder that got blown off.
It's like, oh, look, it fell off the other side.
Yeah. But yeah, you want to keep things on your.
Probably shouldn't. But
you
anyway.
want to keep things on your front.
Well, I like that for the chest rig setup for having things on your front. So if you're using like the hunting example again, the radio is right there. It's easy to key. You don't have to worry. I mean, Gavin's got his fancy, like his PTT up high on his shoulder there.
Yeah, even if it's just in the pouch, that's easy. You can hear it,
but
pick it up.
Easy to find and see the radio. It's easy to key the radio. It's easy to get a first aid kit. It's easy. There's a lot of companies that make binocular holders that work like a chest rig that they sit on your chest.
You just lift them up. I mean,
so having everything right there up front is incredibly convenient.
Yeah, for search and rescue, I use exactly the same chest rig that I use for everything else. It's just a different color because we have uniforms for search and rescue that aren't camouflage.
Lame.
Yeah, I know. But apparently they're supposed to see you when you're trying to find them. But it's got all of my emergency stuff that I need. So I've got a first aid kit right in the front. I have my radio in the front. I have my navigation equipment in the front. And then this particular one that I use for search and rescue, instead of just having like shoulder straps, actually clicks into a backpack. So it's all like one contained unit. So it's like I just have to grab one thing when I go, instead of like, here's my chest rig and straps, here's my backpack. But then in the backpack is like supplemental first aid stuff that's not like an emergency. It's okay, I've treated the emergency stuff. Now I've got time to take this off and like give them a reflective blanket, or here's some water and things like that, rather than like I need this and I need this now. So again, very handy because it's all in that spot that I can access quickly with one hand from either side of my body in an emergency.
In the triangle.
Yeah. It's all about the triangle.
I was listening to you, Gavin.
I like it. I like it. I guess on that note, because Gavin, you ran over a bunch of stuff that you have practically for a like duty type purpose.
Duty.
Is there other stuff that we ought to have on or about our chest rigs?
I mean, yeah, like the shoot, move, communicate thing, and then other things as applicable to whatever your thing is. So I mean, if shooting is not part of the required stuff, like it is for me in search and rescue, I am not shooting anybody. But the communicate and the move part certainly are. So like I said, I got my radio, I've got my first aid kit, I've got my compass, I've got my pace beads, and they're all physically attached to my chest rig. So I can't lose them. So like if I pull my pace beads out, they're there, but I can't remove them from it so that I won't ever lose them. So it stays as one thing, and my first aid kit stays there. On my shoot, move, communicate thing, I have it's called a dangler. So it's like a fanny pack, but it's not.
It covers your no space.
Well, it covers my stomach.
At the end of the triangle?
Yeah, it's for those looking, it's right here. It's got my first aid kit. So it's here. It's
putting your danglers on YouTube. Catch a band.
Just repping another podcast. Sorry.
So I can easily grab my first aid kit from anything there, and it's readily available. But then that frees up, like, I started out with a Haley that was 4 wide, and I didn't really like the Haley because it started to like curve into my armpits and stuff like that, even being like a wider dude. And like when it was on my plate carrier, it was wider than my plate carrier. So I didn't really like that. And then I went from that to a Spiritus Systems, which is a micro, but it's 2 pockets deep. It's very modular, so I don't want to say magazines because you can put whatever in it. So I had magazines in the back and then my first aid kit in the front.
It's like the mullet of chest rigs.
it's super modular, which is like I really liked about it, and that's what kind of drew me to it, was this modularity that I can make it however I like. And then I was like, okay, this is really cool, but like if I want to go and lay prone, like now I've got, this thing that's several inches thick, and that's not very good to being prone.
Yep.
So now I'm running like a single width chest rig from Tracer Tactical and a dangler, because then it's all the same width and I can go prone if I need to go prone, because I don't need to have 12 mags on my chest, especially if I've already got my belt rig. So my first line, I've got 3 mags on my belt. I can put 3 mags in my plate or in my chest rig, 2 if I've got my radio, and then 1 in the gun. So like that's a lot of mags if they were, full capacity mags and we lived in a real country. So enough. But yeah, I still go prone. It doesn't get in the way. I don't have a massive profile from all of that stuff.
And if you crouch, having the dangler, it's not an issue at all.
Yeah.
Versus if it was fixed, it would just hit your thighs right away, or your crotch or whatever, and you wouldn't be able to get comfortable.
Yeah, like sitting right now, it's totally comfortable to sit. It moves enough out of the way so that like I could drive right now, no problem, because it's not thick enough. It's not solid, so that when I sit down, like you're saying, it's not going to like dig into my junk or make it uncomfortable for me to sit properly and comfortably. I can even like bend over and touch my toes right now.
I'm proud of you. That's very flexible.
Yeah, it's mostly from the stretching every morning. Yeah. Chest rigs, man. They're awesome.
I'm a big fan. Gavin got to do his little rundown. I got to do a little rundown of mine, because I've got basically 3 chest rigs. One that is completely not operable with anything else in my assembly of stuff. It doesn't click into anything. It doesn't mate with another thing. It doesn't have an integrated back. Literally the 10-year-old tactical tailor modular assault vest with all the magazines for service rifle.
But it's purpose driven.
It's incredible. All I do is shoot service rifle. All I did was shoot service rifle with it when we were still allowed to shoot service rifle. Makes me sad. The one exception to that is I have my handy dandy first aid pouch that I stick full of bandages and nothing else, because I use it as a shooting rest.
Is that your dangler?
No.
Oh.
No, I have a very awkwardly placed first aid pouch that would not be practical as a first aid pouch, because it is very small and very awkwardly placed, but makes it super convenient to shoot standing, because it gives me somewhere to rest my elbow.
Purpose driven.
That's a benefit that not many people
that's a selfish.
Super gamey.
It's like, I can't really save your life, but it really helps me shoot.
I have 2 bandages in here. You can have both of them, because all they're doing is supporting my rifle.
It helps Andrew not get shot if he needed, because he can shoot better.
Exactly.
If he ever had to use it in that particular.
I am the undefeated 200-meter deliberate rifle shooter in this country, and until we ever have service rifle again, I retain that title. Suck it, Ryan Stacy. Not really. Ryan's my hero, but it's like the one time I've ever beat him at anything ever.
And now it stands forever, so whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're the king,
baby. Undefeated.
You're the king.
My much more modular set of chest rigs, which are much more like Gavin's 4 wides, the big maxi type rigs that click into your plate carrier. Ammo, radio, GP pouch, first aid pouch, or some combination of those things. My 3 gunning rigs and so on, shotgun caddies and all of that good stuff. And then my range master rig. I have a very small micro rig from HSGI that I use to run military ranges. So it has all of the crap that I need to sign for and operate a military range. No ammunition, because you can't be an RO on a D&D range and also touch a gun at the same time, because
the
Queen said so or something. I wasn't listening to that part.
It's not proper. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a range rig that I run that has our radios, the range radios, my first aid kit, and all of my administrative stuff in a big fold open pouch. But it's just a wee little tiny, like it's I think it's a 6-column chest rig. But it has all the crap I need to run a D&D range.
And a sweet megaphone.
Yeah, well, you got to have the sweet megaphone. People need to be able to hear you.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit in the... So run around with one of those a fair
You get a
bit.
swagger stick to go with it at the same time?
Never got that high. Didn't have the appropriate level of rank to pull a swagger stick. And I don't know if they're range appropriate.
I would say that it is. I mean, if you're going to be yelling at somebody for doing something stupid, what denotes more authority? You yelling at him, or you yelling at him while you have a swagger stick under your arm?
or tapping the back of his hand while he's doing something bad or something, you know.
I feel like
Andrew,
the megaphone speaks for itself.
You have to get one of those for the upcoming matches for the season.
I think we could probably find one.
We could probably work that out.
I wonder if we can get a custom one.
Especially when you do the
Ragnarok
safety,
logo on it.
The safety briefings, I'd love to see it. Like,
Yeah, probably work on that.
I mean, a riding crop is close, but that could also be a little weird.
I don't want to give that signal.
Yeah.
If you've seen how big my beard is, people will think I'm in a different scene than I am.
Yeah.
So my setup,
chaps.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
So my main setup that I did, I picked up an HSGI slotted padded gel belt, and
Nice.
It's slotted for floppies. Is that?
No, it lets you weave your actual
Yeah.
belt in and out through it, so you can choose where you want to have belt exposed and when you want to have molly.
But at the cost of molly.
Yes.
It only has
Yeah.
2/3 as much molly as the regular belt.
Yes, and I'm
Late
also
Toronto
a
had
thinner
2/3
guy,
as well.
so I'm already losing 2 or 4 or 6 panels off of,
I have a
Most people.
solution to that.
Yeah, no, I don't want that solution. Thank you.
Are you sure?
I want to hear it.
Eat more and lift more.
Lifting it doesn't quite make your hips bigger, not substantially. But I went nuts.
Time does, Andrew. Time does.
I went nuts with the mag pouches. So I picked up the double tacos from HSGI with the pistol mag on it, and threw 2 of them in there. So I got 4 rifle mags and 2 pistol mags. Then I got a dump pouch because in multi-gun we were using that all the time. Immediately right in the back at the 6 o'clock position, I've got again HSGI's medical taco, I believe, and you can pull it out from either side. So if you pull it out with your left hand or your right hand,
the
it doesn't matter.
multi-mission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Multi-mission medical taco, the M3T. Not that I sell them or anything.
No.
So I fell in love with that, and you could pick up extra inserts as well. So if you wanted to run different things, or more tourniquets or less tourniquets, or
I used to run that for a while, but I found it too fat across my.
It's very
my
big.
back.
So sitting on anything, it's not comfortable at all. If you try and sit in a car,
I'll have to show you. There's a way to adapt it, and you can put it on the front like a dangler, if you ever wanted to.
Yeah. And I've sort of shifted my belt so the buckle's not at 12 o'clock. It sort of slots almost, I was probably sitting there like the 10:30, 11 o'clocks, so I can get a little bit more utility out of the belt, pull the holster a little bit further back, and the mag pouch is a little bit further up front.
Like Dave and his IDPA rig, where he just puts his belt on backwards.
Yeah, almost like that. But, because I'm using the back, I need the back as well. So
yeah.
And then I've got just a basic utility pouch off at probably the 4 or 5 o'clock. Then I've got a tourniquet right behind where the holster is. And then I got my holster. Then that's the end of the belt. I've also got the clips in there for leg rig. So if I wanted to run a drop holster, which sometimes was handy. With running, it sucks. But for everything else, it's nice.
Told you it would.
Sorry?
I've told you it would.
Yeah, but in other situations it makes up for it because it's right where your hand naturally sits. So draw times are fast.
Are you running the RTI?
No, I'm running a mix of like all Blackhawk gear because I tried to match an old
we'll
holster
talk
that
at the
came
next
with the
time.
gun, and
We'll talk when I see you next, and I'll set you up with something better so that you can run one or the other without taking up more real estate.
yeah,
I got you, fam.
that'll be good. Good to see. And the drop leg holster is really nice if you're sitting down. It doesn't get in the way.
Yeah.
That was a benefit. Then I put the suspenders on there because, after ROing for multi-gun and stuff like that, it started getting heavy on the hips. So to spread the weight out. Because I didn't want to take the gear off, because as soon as you take the gear off and you put it back on, it feels a million times heavier.
And the problem that Andrew has found, if you take your shit off in between stages, you may forget to put it back on.
Okay, so like you go to shotgun provincials like one time and you forget to put your shotgun belt back on. You never hear the end of it.
Of course, man. Why would we?
SOP, yeah.
And so I've sort of set my kit up again, with first line, second line, third line. And I focused all on making holes, plugging holes, and stopping holes. So, you've got all the stuff to, shoot. You've got all the medical equipment to plug any holes, and you've got the body armor to stop any holes if you get in that lucky small 10 by 12 area. Yeah. And then I've also switched over to the Warrior Assault Systems modular belt. I can't remember the name exactly, but again, it lets you run your belt through it, but it's got different size panels, either 1 width, 2 or 3 wide molly panels, and you can shift the orientation around. So you can have your holster there and put like a single strip for a tourniquet or a pistol mag. And I've set this up for all the different pistol shooting that we're doing, like the knockoff IDPAs or
improved IDPA, I think.
Yeah, improved IDPAs or the other different partisan challenges that you guys were doing. Set that up so I've got all the different size mag pouches on the one side depending on what I want to run or what. It's super easy to change. It comes off with Velcro, so you can just reorient it super easy. And then on my chest rig, it's right now set up as a plate carrier because I just need to get proper harness to run this on. It's a little bit more comfortable than what came with the backpack actually. It's a Warrior Assault Systems Recon plate carrier. It's only 6 panels wide, so 3 magazines. It's a lot more comfortable for me. I didn't even bother with the 4. So I've got 1 rifle and 1 pistol mag per thing. So I got 3 of each right up from the front. I've got a backpack on, which I run also Camelback for water. Probably about the 7 o'clock, I've got a radio pouch because I don't really have to access it much, but I have a push to talk that comes up over the shoulder, so I can access everything from up top when I have it connected. I've got also another tourniquet sitting at about 9 o'clock, so I can grab it with the left hand, and to supplement the one on my belt that's at the 3 o'clock position, so I can grab either or because I'm not wearing the plate carrier without wearing the belt. I'll wear the belt without the plate carrier, but I won't wear the plate carrier without the belt because I won't have a holster, because drawing from right below your armpit is almost impossible. So I can't do it, and so I don't even bother with it. And then the backpack just gets loaded down with other stuff I don't need to access immediately, because I have to take this off because I picked up the Haley Strategic Flat Pack, which packs down really thin, but expands out quite a ways whenever you want to.
Yeah, that's what I run on both my search and rescue rig and my search and destroy rig, I guess is maybe the correct way to put that. Because it holds for the most part, it holds my hydration bladder, right?
Yeah, it holds a 2 or a 2.5 liter more square bag versus rectangular. So just focus on that.
But for SAR stuff, it's got a couple small things in it. It's perfect. It stays out of the way when we're walking through the woods. But like if I need to expand it because it's like winter time and this time of year where like the weather's changing every 5 minutes, and it's like I've got a layer, I need to take it off, I need to put it back on, I could put it in the bag and it expands and contracts as needed, which is great. Like I love that thing. It's a great piece of kit.
Yeah, and it's also compatible with the chest rigs. as well as the plate carrier. This one's got the different panels that you can put on and off. I don't have a second one yet. At some point I'll get one. Maybe I'll get a multicam instead of OD green, so it'll match a little bit better. But OD does pretty good at matching with multicam, so it's not that big of a deal. But I can take that off and run the backpack and run a chest rig with no issues if I didn't want to run plates. And then I've got also the tactical phone mount as well, as I talked about earlier, and a dangler.
That's exactly my SAR rig is Haley pack into the Spiritus chest rig, and they just click together because it uses that standard footprint that we were talking about. But then my other rig, it's the same, or it was the same Spiritus chest rig. I'm now waiting on another one to arrive here, but like the same chest rig, the same backpack, but the chest rig clicks into my plates and the backpack is just mollied to the back of my plate carrier because I'm never going to not want that with me.
Yeah. So if I can only grab one piece of equipment other than firearms, I have my belt set up to handle everything, at like the bare minimums of everything. So you just grab the firearms, grab the belt, go. If you got time to grab the armor, grab the armor. If not, I got enough mags for the rifle and enough mags for the pistol that I can get by.
I like it.
Sounds
very similar
system.
Took me a while to get there.
A couple of different brands.
Yeah.
Is there other brands that is worthwhile people looking at? I mean, Haley came up a bunch. Spiritus came up a bunch. Warrior Assault Systems, Andrew mentioned a couple times. Some of my stuff is Warrior Assault Systems, like my plate carrier, but I don't actually love their chest rigs.
What about 511? Do they make all this stuff too?
511 does make a chest rig. I don't like the Tech chest rig very much.
Or the Tech plate carrier because it's too long.
I'm currently sporting the Milburn Mountain Defense Minimalist plate carrier.
Milburn Mountain Defense makes some good stuff here, right here in Canada. Actually, really close to Ian in BC.
Yep, just up
allegedly.
Area of BC. It's a Quesnel based company, and pretty decent price, pretty awesome quality, including the plates. I have no complaints at all.
They make some great stuff,
if that matters.
I guess I'm a big fan. I was running the Spiritus stuff. If you want a 2-thing width chest rig in a micro format, I highly recommend their stuff. It's really, really, really well made. It's a, what did I call that politician I really don't like? It's a C word. A C word, I think. It's one of those to find. Like it is unobtainium because they're almost always out of stock. But I've recently switched over to Tracer Tactical. They're a very small company as well, and you're gonna have to pre-order, and it'll take some time to arrive. But it will arrive, and very well made. I really like it. Same idea, very modular. So if you want it one thing, like one pocket deep, you can do that. They've got a second pocket as an add-on. So if you wanted to run 6 mags instead of 3, you can get the add-on, which then also helps like keep the cost down if you don't need all of the stuff, right? You can buy the pieces as you need them and really, really customize it to how you like. So I would recommend them. Perset gear for the boards, and I really like their pistol or their tactical belts for more than just a pistol.
One good thing that most, if not all, of these companies do, if you buy either their chest rigs or their plate carriers or whatever, they have either empty setup, so you put your own pouches on there, or they sell like their own pouches that you can put on individually, or they've got different setups. Like Haley Strategic's got their light or their heavy for their 5.56 or their 308 kits, where you hold 3 or 4 mags plus the radio plus some extra goodies.
I mean, I guess we did mention it. Like Helicon Techs make some pretty good quality stuff. They make a chest rig in denim if you really want to be like a tactical Sudbury dinner jacket kind of guy. The only problem is much like the Haley is like it's good, but like it is what you buy because there's no modularity really to it. It's like these are where your mag pouches are. If you don't like it, go buy something else.
This is my complaint with Haley and Helicon and Warrior Assault. Like generally sewn stuff is if you have 20 dudes that all need the same stuff and they're all like trained infantrymen, it's probably fine.
Yeah. But
if
we're
you
also
have
not
like somebody
80
doing
SWAT
search
cops
and
anymore.
rescue, or if you have somebody that's like going hunt, like it does not suit the vast majority of things that you're going to try and do with it if you're taking our advice about chest rigs.
That, and like some stuff is pretty symmetrical, so it doesn't matter. Other stuff, not so much. So like while it works for however many percentage of the population is right-handed because they've laid it out in that format, if you happen to be wrong-handed, looking at you, Bolivar, you're screwed. It doesn't work for you.
It does not work as well. And that, I mean, yeah, there are some that are more ambidextrous than others.
Yeah, Warrior Cells systems, theirs are more mirrored, you know.
Yeah. And if you're
depends.
paying the same money.
The Pathfinder is a duplicate setup all the way across. The Falcon has pistol mag pouches on one side, but not on the other.
Oh.
Yeah. And if you're paying the
Haleys
same,
are kind of the same deal. The Haleys are like mags in the middle, big pouches on the outside, except for the heavy rig, which has like a big and a small. So I don't know
but the original Haley has that weird multi-purpose thing with just like the elastic stuff in the middle, which I mean it's in the middle, but like there's sort of your GP pouches on the side, mag pouches on one side, and then that weird shock cord thing in the other. So like it
holds everything from a 1911 mag up to a 40 millimeter grenade.
So it's sort of like close enough to symmetrical, but not quite, because it's like one is just one pouch over, which like can make a difference. You know, and if you're going to pay the same price for something that's like stitched in place and not modular versus something that is like entirely customizable, why would you not take the one that's really customizable? Like there's no price advantage. My approach
with this has always been to go for the entirely like, give me the bare piece of Molly and I will put my own stuff on it, because I'm not using your equipment in the way that you probably intended it to be.
Yeah.
Right? Like no one built like a Range Master chest rig and they were like, this is all the stuff that you need in Canada to run a D&D range if you want it on a chest rig. Because like there's no market for that.
I mean, there are companies that even make search and rescue specific chest rigs that I've looked at, and they don't meet my needs at all, because it's not how I like to run my stuff. Because I like to run my stuff so that it's mostly similar to what I'm running right now, so that my radio is in the same place that my radio always is, so that muscle memory, so that in a search and rescue scenario, when my heart rate gets elevated and I need to do something, I go to the same side to use my radio as I would if I was running it in a not search and rescue situation, so that I'm not duplicating thing and having to learn two different things and remember which thing I'm in right now, because that's dumb. Yeah, modularity I think is key. I will even pay more money for being able to customize it than I would for just like, this is where things go.
Yeah, I'm a fan of being able to customize things, and I'm a fan of being able to swap things around as
especially easily.
Well, I mean, we've gone through enough iterations with different shooting disciplines and different extracurricular activities that I think, like, Gavin and I have managed to arrive at more or less the same place on most of the equipment we select most of the time.
Well,
for most
and even
things,
the brands where we differ.
But we don't really do the same thing. Like, I don't do search and rescue. You do. You don't run ranges like I do. But I mean, we've more or less landed on the same collection of stuff.
Well, and you know, like the things where we do differ, we still arrived at the same conclusion, just a different brand. Usually,
for the most part, yeah.
It's like, oh, you wanted a belt like this. I went with this brand. I went with this. You know, it's the same concept, just made by a different person.
Yeah, and a lot of that has changed over time, because again, like,
this brand existed when you were looking for
like, man, those Stargate SG-1 vests look awesome.
They still
now
do.
Being like, I would never do that again. That was one of my like, that was a terrible idea, and I went to college in this country.
Yeah, but like when you show up to the party and, you know, it's a Kurt Russell themed party, you're set.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I mean, I would take Snake Plissken over the dude from Stargate, but whatever, like same difference. You're still cool. Better
Weren't
than
they
Captain
rocking
Ron.
Weren't they rocking the black SWAT outfits in one of the Dawn of the Dead movies or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have a Black Hawk, like everything stitched in place with that weird texturized shoulder material and a black turtleneck, you don't tactical.
Oh,
Andrew's got to go shopping now.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
Buddy. I got an old Condor rig. I'll get to you on the cheap.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're looking to buy, I might be willing to sell something from my archives of kit.
I feel like that thoroughly beats chest rigs to death. I don't know if we left anything out. Is there anything we've overlooked? We've talked about brands. Obviously, if I can help you with buying stuff, RagnarOkTactical.ca. I have some chest rig type things in stock, although the bigger focus right now is plate carriers. We do have a bunch of accessories that go together, though.
Yeah.
Set you up with both.
Yeah, I mean, HSGI has a lot of the stuff that you can use to customize a chest rig, which
do love HSGI. Tacos are not just for Tuesdays.
Yeah, they solved that whole AR, AK, AR-10, problem where you're like, I've got space for one mag here. What do? I run both. Oh, we have a solution for you. This taco will take 5.56 mags, 7.62 by 39, 7.62 by 31, and
51
or 51. That's the one. I had a little bit.
I mean, it would take both of those.
Yeah.
31, 39,
and
51, all of these.
And 12 gauge magazines.
Yeah, double stack, single stacked.
They all fit.
Yeah, I am a big fan of the HSGI stuff. Obviously, we sell it. There's a reason we sell it. It's because it's one of
those things that Andrew and I both arrived at the same solution to the problem independently, and we're like, yeah, this works.
Yeah. I don't know if there's maybe lesser known brands. There are probably less popular brands you could look at. The Heckleon Tech stuff seems to have really taken off in the last couple of years.
Yeah, super well made, just lacks the modularity. But if you want one that's denim,
yeah, for sure.
I guess there's a couple of other that are chest rig sort of related things. Cleared Hot and All Skill No Luck make hoodies that, like, the kangaroo pouch on the hoodie is actually like a Velcro kind of flap that you pull up, and it allows like the inserts that go into a lot of the modern style modular chest rig pouches, like the Spiritus, the Tracer Tactical, and some of the others that have the elastic magazine holders. They fit right into the hoodie. So if you were looking for something that's like a chest rig, but more covert for whatever reason you might want, take a look at those guys. They're really cool. The All Skill No Luck ones, they look like those like stoner poncho sweaters. And they've got like a little admin pouch that flips up that you can put stuff in, and then your mag pouches go in there. But like from the outside, they look pretty
room for your weed and some room for your mags.
Yeah, low profile-ish, but it solves that same problem if you were just like, I want to carry a bunch of stuff, but I don't want to put it in pants pockets. Or if you're like able to live in if you live in a country that's free and you can carry and you want to carry, but somewhat discreetly, they're kind of cool.
Well, I think that again, a little bit LARPy, but if there was a situation where you were in where you wanted to be able to discreetly have a lot of equipment about your person, chest rig under a jacket, pretty good way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in a backpack and you can throw it on very quickly.
Which, I mean, I think that's more of an applicability to armed law enforcement types, that if you have a patrol carbine in your issued law enforcement vehicle, you should probably have some kind of a chest rig with a bunch of mags and some medical stuff.
Oh, an extra bonus to the flat pack from Haley Strategic. The chest rig panels fit in the backpack perfectly with loaded mags, everything. So you could take it out, slap it on, and you're good to go. So you could be walking around with a backpack
And I mean,
no
if
one would
you
be able to
if
tell,
you
and
if you had a small enough AR, in theory, it would all fit into the backpack with the chest rig, and that's your little like. And you could even make it a backpack and walk around with it, and then when needed, you could just like click, 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 click. Now I has an AR, a chest rig with mags, and a backpack for more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets a little LARPy, but I mean, I can see that there are situations where you may want to have these tools in your toolkit.
if you want to get even more LARPy with their Canadian winters, check out for the Suleika again. They've got Anoraks, which is basically a big poncho, thermal poncho, basically, that has a U-shaped cutout that allows you to access all your mags on your plate carrier while still being warm. And it's an overlayer, goes over top, super easy, cinches down with a bunch of shock cords everywhere.
Yeah,
and it fits
it's gonna
over
be
a
like
helmet.
a third of the price of the what's it, the half jack, the flak jack from Cry.
Yeah, which only covers your arms and your shoulders.
Yeah, this does everything, goes partway down your thighs, which is great. It's got a crotch strap to keep it cinched down, and it works with a helmet, which is absolutely amazing because put a hood over on a helmet, you turn, you can't see anything. This thing cinches right into your helmet, locks in place. You got perfect field of view. And
I mean, as someone that has the flak jack or the half jack, it works great, but it is expensive.
This one is like 175 CAD.
Is pretty baller, and it covers you more. So in a way, it's even better.
Yeah. So things we've learned today: you probably don't need a chest rig. If you do need a chest rig, you probably need to set it up for yourself. And if you want to spend money, it should be in Finland.
Yeah.
Roughly.
And Ragnarok Tactical. Use code Andrew10 for 10% off.
My child's college fund by shopping at Ragnarok Tactical. Let me sell you magazines or chest rigs or plate carriers.
Yeah, code Andrew10, 10% off.
Wow. No, that's fine. Take money out of my kid's mouth. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I spent a lot of time.
If you're going to use any of the codes, it's going to be Gavin10. And what you're going to do is you're going to add 10% more to your order in order to make up for that, to help Andrew's kid go through college.
It's all about the basket size. You need
a bushel.
Economy of shipping.
You need a bushel.
Yes, a bushel of tactical goods.
I would love a bushel of tactical goods. All right, we do have book club coming up next week. Professor Kaczynski's Industrial Society and Its Future. And April, we're not going to talk about it because we're doing Fight Club.
Well, we're not allowed to talk about it, dude.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, but you can't even mention it.
Mention what?
Exactly.
If you're shopping on Amazon, which you probably are, I know I'm trying to knock the habit, but it's hard. It's terribly convenient and free shipping.
Yeah.
But they have crappy chest rig selection. So if you are shopping on Amazon,
use it to save money. Yeah. So that you can buy chest rigs from us.
BigLuau.biz, or use our affiliate link in all of the show notes or on our website. And we get a little commission on that sale. But don't buy your chest rigs there. We've been over this. The selection, it's not good.
They don't even have much Condor.
They don't have gun stuff. And you know what? I'm not mad. I don't want to compete with Amazon, because if I had to compete with Amazon, I would not have a business. Like I couldn't do it. There's a scale there. So I'm quite okay with them not wanting to do gun stuff, because that leaves a market for me and people like me.
But keep buying from us, and maybe we'll be able to start our own Amazon just for tactical goods.
I wish that were the case.
Dream big.
I mean, really what I want is just a warehouse full of stuff that I might someday need for reasons.
Yeah. If only I had a lawn care emergency.
Yeah, having a bunch of lawnmowers is not exactly the... I was doing inventory yesterday. We got a big shipment of tourniquets in. Small digression. So I was counting all the tourniquets and going through and like rotating old stock and stuff and making sure that all the old stuff was out first and the new stuff was in. Sorting everything by lot numbers to appease the TISM. it occurred to me that I have a lot of first aid supplies when I was doing this. Like a lot of first aid supplies when I was
So
doing
if you've been
inventory.
waiting, now is the time to stock up on your first aid supplies.
Well, I mean, now's the time to get tourniquets because I have a lot of tourniquets in stock again. But I was like, while I was in there, I was doing inventory and just updating stuff, and I was like, this is a lot of stuff. Like, this is like, I could give everybody I like. No, that's. I could give everybody I know a tourniquet at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could give everybody you like a tourniquet when you had like a handful in stock.
Yeah, that's why I had to reconsider my choice of phrase. But yeah, I realized like if I gave one of these to everybody I know, I would probably run out of people I know before I run out of tourniquets now.
One's got 4 limbs.
Well, buy more. Also, we're on Discord. If you want to hang out, the Discord was getting lively the other day. I think the Discord might have given us some show ideas too. So if you want to hang out in Discord, we're on there. Andrew's on all the time. I'm on occasionally when I remember to log in.
I'm on even less frequently, but I'm on.
I'm on right now.
I gotta get better at that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's one of those things like the being banned from social media. I don't look at this stuff anymore, and I'm not in the habit of doing it. So I have to be like, oh yeah.
I just forget we have one. Yeah. So make it spicy, and I'll be on more.
There you go. Tag Gavin in all of your nudes. Or no, wait.
Yeah.
What?
I don't want to see those.
Let's go around. We'll start with Ian. Ian, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on the interwebs by emailing me at thewesternretreat@gmail.com. You can also find me on Gab at the Western Retreat.
Or iansnudes.ca/discord.
Stop biz.
Oh. Yeah.
Beat me to it.
What about your OnlyFans, Ian? Where can people reach you on that?
Oh, you have to get past the paywall for that one, my friend.
Yeah. You gotta pay more. Yeah. No, it's the super paywall.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just tax time is coming. Make sure you declare your income.
Yeah.
Is that other sources? I don't know if that really count.
I'm not getting into a debate on tax law in this country. The whole thing is dumb. Moving on.
Yeah.
Brian, where can everybody find the show?
We value your opinion, so please visit us at ragnaroktactical.com/feedback or email us at feedback@canadianpatriotpodcast.com and let us know what you think.
That's very close to the ad rate. I'll take it.
Yep.
Sold. Andrew, where can everybody find you?
BetterAndrew.biz to get the best website you ever will see in your life.
I do
Or
visitor counter on that website.
Or andar.ca if you want the second best website.
Or bigluau.biz for the third best.
No, that's tied for first.
Oh.
I'm not good at math.
And,
No, that's
one last thing, if I could, I'd like to give a shout out to everybody at Range 519. They've been very kind to me. And Dean at Select Shooting Supplies. I really appreciate all your kindness. Thank you very much. Everybody should still check it out because there's still spots available for membership. Range 519.
Yeah, Dean is good if you're in Southern Ontario, if you're near Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge area.
Yeah.
Or you're willing to make the drive from the GTA.
Yeah, I frequently do. Spend your money with us first, then with them.
Dean we say hi, because Dean's pretty good people.
Yeah,
I bought many rifles from him.
Yeah.
We bought Tim's divorce rifle from him.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of PMags on right now too.
Oh yeah? How much is PMag going for these days?
Well,
yeah, they got
the ones I'm looking for
Glock PMags they got in
$34.99 on sale.
They're all sold out, the Glock PMags.
Yeah.
Already? Man, they just dropped that early today. Weird.
Yeah.
It's funny how like nobody wants the Glock factory ones that come California compliant with 10 rounds only, but everybody wants the Glock PMags that are pinned. Weird.
It's almost like they don't want to listen to the law.
No, that's why they're buying the pinned ones.
That's why exactly. From a gun store, no less.
Yeah. Weird.
All right, Gavin, where can everybody find you on the internet?
The best place to find me is on the Instagrams, UrbexGTL, one word. But you can also find me on Liberty Experts with Tim Owen. I recently did a little guest appearance there talking about some preparedness stuff. I'm stealing the other CPP's thunder, talking about prepping and stuff like that because I'm an expert now. Yeah, check that out. Hopefully we're going to get Tim on our show. Everyone loved our interview with Adam, so we're going to try to get more people on here and
I
interview.
thought you did a good job with that one there, Gav. That was good. I appreciate that one.
Talk about some stuff. Things.
Right on. Plugged it a whole bunch. May as well plug it again because we're talking about things I sell. If you want chest rigs or tacos or first aid supplies, RagnarokTactical.ca. Help me put money in my kid's RESP because I don't think he's getting that free government school when he goes to university.
Definitely not.
Is that like the
Use the discount code.
ECT?
Something like that. Use the discount code Patriot at checkout. Save yourself some money. Or I guess you could use Gavin or Andrew's discount codes if you want to do that. That's fine too. $10 flat rate shipping still because Canada Post up their rates. But you know what? Somehow I'm still paying the same. So we're going to ride that for as long as we can.
Ride the wave.
Yep. Till they catch on to, I don't know, something. I'm paying the same rates and the rates went up. So whatever. We're just going to leave it alone until it impacts our business. In which case, welcome to $100 flat rate shipping.
Sorry.
I have to apologize to Rod Giltaca. We could not get him on the show.
Sorry, Rod.
Well, Rod's not about plate carriers. He does have a very spiffy chest rig. No, wait.
It'd be pretty flowery, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
If he had
he's got one of those like really big plate carriers that he likes to have for his civil advantage videos.
Yeah. I don't think I saw a chest rig though. Yeah.
It'd probably have seashells on it.
Well, you gotta have some seashells now and then.
How do you know that you're from BC if you don't have the puka shell necklace?
We can't because we love Rod.
Ian's is just hiding under his shirt. Yeah.
I've heard BC is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, but it's more lefty than Toronto. Believe that.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It is. Trust me.
Well, at least we're not going to our third lockdown. That's for sure.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah.
For all of our listeners out there in podcast land, I'd like to remind you that you are the true north, strong and free.